This is the Air75 by Betafpv, and I struggled to make a review of this quad, but not for the reasons that you might think. Let's get into it. First, the unboxing video, because everybody wants to see what's inside. I like how it comes in this very sturdy box that I use to carry the quad around. In the box, you get the drone, spare canopy, spare props, cables for the USB-C, and that's it. No stickers, which I love. I don't need useless things. No stickers, no instruction manuals. I don't need useless things in this box. I like this. It keeps the cost down where it matters, and it gives consumers what they really pay for. Asian mentality for the win. This leads me to my next point, the specs. I'm not going to go over all the specs. A lot of other reviewers have covered the specs extensively, but the only spec that I care about is the price. This thing comes in at $95 US, which I think is amazing value for a quad like this. It is cheaper than what it costs for me to build this with all the individual parts. And for something that flies this well, we'll get to that, I don't think anything else matters to me. Why do I think it flies so well? Let me show you. In my first few flights with the Air75, I found myself being able to adapt to it very quickly. Because I mostly fly 5-inch quads, I find myself struggling to get used to micros because they don't carry enough weight, they don't have enough power, I have to get on the throttle early. But for this thing, I got used to this really quickly, like in the first few packs itself. Now, nothing flies like a 5-inch. I don't care what anybody else says, it's like nothing flies like a 5-inch. But the power to rate ratio of this seems just almost close, that if you come from a 5-inch or a bigger quad and you're moving into micros, this thing, you'll adapt to this really quickly. I find that I could adapt to this quicker and get into the groove of flying and hitting gaps faster than any other micros that I own. And because of that, I find myself doing riskier and riskier moves. And I'm so surprised how durable this thing is, because I crashed a lot, like all my other quads, but this thing just gets right back up and keeps going. And speaking of keep going, the battery life on this thing is impressive. Like, you can get 4 to 6 minutes of really hard ripping, and when I come back and I land, I check the battery later, it's still at storage voltage. So you could really push this for even longer. The battery life is also something to be noted about. I fly longer, faster, and harder on this quad, and it will still come back at storage voltage. But it excels so well in an outdoor situation. Like, you can find, like, you know, little playgrounds, little places and nooks and stuff, and, you know, overhead bridges and do all kinds of things with this, and nobody would care. I think why the Air75 flies so well comes down to the tune, and Betafpv has really nailed it with this one. So in the first few flights I flew it out of the box, didn't even change the rates, because, you know, if you're gonna buy it as a bind and fly it how you receive it. But I did change a few things after the first few flights. Let me show you the tune. So in pit tuning, I didn't change any of this, but what I did change is the VBAT sag compensation. So I set it over here to 100. These are my current rates. I fly KISS most of the time. I like these rates, may not be for you. One thing to note is the throttle expo. Okay, it comes stock configured with this throttle mid and throttle expo, and this thing blew my mind, because usually when you combine a lightweight and higher kV motors, you would think you have something uncontrollable at low throttle, but it makes it so good to control, and like by adding it just really makes it mwah. Now because of this, I think I'm gonna add throttle expo and this kind of throttle mid to all of my micros. Another thing that most reviewers say that the camera angle is too high for beginners, and I agree, but it's perfect for me because I run this kind of camera angle on most of my other freestyle quads. I have not broken the camera mount where most reviewers break it. I have not broken, but I've broken it here. You can't really see it. There's like a little broken piece over here. It doesn't affect the video, it doesn't affect the flyability of it. Yeah, maybe because I fly backwards all the time. And you see, I have damaged the L-shaped connector thing, which I think is a great addition. Bashed up, but it still works. I really destroyed this quad. I am so impressed with the durability of it. And I haven't changed a single prop guard, I haven't changed a single frame, or even a single prop. It's still the same stock prop. Also, one thing to note, many reviewers have covered it, is the UFL connector, and mine comes with the pre-cut notch. So it has a notch there already, and I had to put a little bit of like E6000 glue to stop the antenna from falling off. I already lost like maybe one, and I just put glue there and it never fell off. The reason why I said I struggled to review this quad is because I couldn't find anything really critical to talk about it. It just flies so well. If I were to really nitpick, it would be the Express LRS receiver. Okay, the Express LRS receiver keeps giving me telemetry loss. I didn't lose range, but it just made me afraid that I couldn't really push it so far, like, you know, building dives or going somewhere further. But I understand the decision. Maybe they sacrifice for durability's sake. So that has been my quick review of the Air75. I really don't have much to say about it other than it's great. This is a great quad. It's a great bind and fly for the price, and I really can't complain. This is the best 75 Whoop that I own right now, and I challenge you to find something better. If you do, please leave a comment down below, let me know, and I'll go check it out as well. Well, that's it. If you feel like picking one up for yourself, I have links below. There are affiliate links, but you don't have to use them. You can head over to Betafpv and pick them up, and I will cherish you anyway.